What's up? We're over halfway through the Watchmen series. I think, because this could just be one season, episode 5 in the books, insane. This defines what the hell is happening. Well, maybe, because they actually answered a lot of questions, too. But also, what the hell is going to happen now? That was a nuts episode.
Crazy episode. I would say the best yet.
Okay, I would say best. Is this the best for you?
Not yet.
I was thinking about it. The only one, the pilot is so good.
I love the pilot. I want to rewatch
that's
a lot
the
of
only
it.
one that's really close with me, but this one was just, we got so many payoffs. We'll get into it.
The Laurie one, for me, the one that focused on Laurie, I thought was the best up until now. This one does focus on Looking Glass, Wade Tillman, his actual name. We'll dip back and forth because he's mostly Wade Tillman for this. He mostly doesn't have...
Or Mirror Guy.
Yeah, more Mirror Guy, correct. Yeah, which we find out why he wears the reflective stuff.
Brilliant.
Let's just get into it. Off the top, Easter eggs. The squid is the big thing. They finally show the squid.
They did it.
They did it. Which I did
not think this was going to happen at any point.
No, I never thought the squid was going to be in this whatsoever. Because again, I'm only still getting through the graphic novel, but I knew the squid thing. I didn't understand it, but I knew that was the big change from the movie. So I never thought they'd do it in this. This essentially is just he's called it a remix of Watchmen content. This is a sequel to the graphic
This is a
novel.
sequel, yeah.
It's
especially the more this series goes on, the more you realize that. This episode felt like that just in the world. We're finding out what happened to the Watchmen world.
Yep, exactly. So you do see the squid. The squid in 1985, right? November 2nd, it drops down into New York, lets out this psychic blast, which kills not everyone, but many millions of people.
3 million, they said, right?
Yeah. It lands down, big tentacle through Madison Square Garden. There's a Easter egg there we'll get to in a second. A pretty cool alternate timeline reference that they make. But the squid is the big thing, and the show opens up with Wade Tillman, with Looking Glass, who is a Jehovah Witness, basically.
Yeah, he's the Watchtower and all that shit.
Yeah,
he's doing the whole end is near shit.
Yeah, he's telling the world's going to end. He gets duped by, this is another reference, Not Tops. It's like a punk type.
That's the chick?
Kids. Yeah, the chicks, the guys, whatever. That one I don't know too well.
So many of the references are just posters that were in the background of one panel, and people are picking up on them like that. It's crazy.
So they trick him and they go into a fun house at a carnival in Hoboken, which if you don't know New York and you don't know New Jersey well, Hoboken, if you couldn't tell from the episode, just across the water from New York. It's essentially New York City, which when they showed Hoboken 1985, you're like, fuck, it's about to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're it's close enough. So I thought maybe he just wasn't close enough, but everyone in Hoboken, for the most part, who was outside died.
I thought we were going to hear a big blast or something, something really hitting hard, and the fact that they showed it was
So we find out the mirrors is what saved him.
Yes.
Reflective stuff saves him, and that's the other Easter egg. Not even much of an Easter egg. This is the reveal that the Looking Glass thing reflects him having psychic blast, or having moments where he wakes up screaming in the middle of the night. It helps out the trauma that he has. And his hat, which this is funny for you because you actually do this too. His hat has reflectitine, right? Yeah, there you go.
Weird coincidence.
Robbie does it too. So
that's why I wear a hat every day. People ask me all the time. I'm afraid of this whole squid thing.
Just in case.
We're in New York. We were very close to Madison Square Garden. So
very close, right down the block. I could literally see it from my desk.
So you wear the reflectitine. We'll get more on Wade in a second, but that's kind of the big reveal there. So the big Easter egg is the squid. That is huge. And let me bring this question up. Obviously, Zack Snyder made the change. He made the change to the movie where he made it to be some sort of controlled fake nuclear blast, right? And both the graphic novel and movie blames it on Dr. Manhattan. He tries to frame him there. It's a big departure from the squid. I imagine when he was making that movie, or when the studio was talking about that movie, they were like, "You can't put a fucking giant squid," right?
Rightfully so. I still don't think people don't like Watchmen the movie. I think a
lot of people.
It gets a lot of hate.
Split. Yeah,
it gets a lot of hate. I don't think it deserves.
Polarizing.
I don't think that's the problem. Why? I think that was a good change because it makes it more palatable for a regular audience.
But I think this shows that the squid, maybe it's a product of the time.
Yeah.
We live in a time period where
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Where weirder comic-y movies have worked, right? Because we saw bizarrely weird, and it didn't work with Batman and Robin, right?
Yeah.
And then they regress back, and then you get things like The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, et cetera, et cetera. And now you see things like Guardians. Thor Ragnarok, and that exists in a
giant
time.
squid in Guardians too, right in the opening scene.
Yep.
That exists in a time that happened long after Zack Snyder did Watchmen. I think if he did Watchmen now, totally acceptable. I think that's a bit revisionist, like 2020 thought there. I don't
Zack
think it
didn't write
worked.
it either, so it's not completely on him. But I think you're right about the product of the times. Watchmen came out right after The Dark Knight. It was so gritty, make it everything realistic, dark, real. You couldn't do a squid there. Them doing the squid here worked perfectly with the tone of the show. It was cool seeing it. It was cool seeing the destruction. Looking Glass's origin, perfect. It's like a very superhero-esque origin. Reminded me of the Dr. Manhattan scene at the carnival.
Oh, big
like
time.
from the movie and shit. But I loved it, and the actual look of the squid, amazing.
Looks exactly like it does.
It looked really good,
novel, right?
Yeah, and it looked scary. It didn't look goofy.
And the scene they actually showed him, where they do the zoom out all the way from Hoboken all the way over to New York City, and then you see the squid, and one big pan out is like really impressive. It looked really good.
And it looked almost like, and I know it probably wasn't. I would guess 99% wasn't. It looked like a miniature. Like, it looked like a miniature set, the way it was. I don't know if it was the lighting or something, but it looked like in a good way. It looked cool.
I would imagine that anyone who was a big fan of the graphic novel, it lived up to any expectation to see the giant squid. It looked very, very good.
I think that was like a lifelong payoff for some people, like finally getting to see it.
Giant squid.
The other Easter egg I want to note, because there are a couple little things here and there, but I want to dive into the reaction of the episode because they revealed so much, is Pale Horse. So Pale Horse is from the graphic novel, the actual band that played at MSG.
And I did not remember this at all. You texted me and I was like, I don't think so, dude. I have no idea.
I missed that one. Is literally on like a poster background.
I know. I looked
Night
it up
Owl.
afterwards. It's crazy.
So they actually, in the graphic novel, this is the band playing, and I forget the person who Wade Tillman meets, the person who Looking Glass meets. What's her name? Do we remember it?
Renee?
The
chick he meets meeting Renee.
So they were talking about Steven Spielberg, right? Okay, so she mentioned that Steven Spielberg won an
they got
Oscar
$1 billion Oscars on it
for Pale Horse, and you're like, okay, like that's kind of funny. He made the movie, and then she's explaining the movie and talks about how it's a black and white movie, and there's a girl in a striking red coat, and you're like, holy shit, he didn't make Schindler's List. He didn't make Schindler's List. He made Pale Horse instead about the squid attack, which is just fucking. It's just like one of those little details where it's kind of a throwaway, but it's so amazing.
It's like perfect world building.
And
which this show is amazing at, obviously.
It builds that alternate timeline up, which there's a lot of alternate timeline stuff we'll get to now because it's time to talk just in general. The episode, Wade Tillman, Looking Glass, he was the focus. We hadn't seen Tim Blake Nelson really as the focus yet. The story's done a really good job at focusing on individual characters, but without missing a beat, right? It doesn't feel like small anthology episodes. Like the story continues to flow perfectly, despite the fact they focus on individual characters each episode.
Yeah, and they timed it well too, where I was sort of starting to get antsy for give us some payoffs at this point, and they gave us a ton of payoffs. And like you said, it did the thing where it set up more mysteries and all that. But this episode was definitely, I think, we got more out of it than we were set up for. I think it was more like payoff than it was set.
Yeah, we always talk about with like origin story stuff, like that can get kind of tedious and annoying. Like you get an 8-minute kind of origin scene for Looking Glass right in the beginning, and then you just, instead of like going back in time and like seeing how stuff is set up, you just kind of get like a view into his day-to-day life, and that gives you like your kind of empathy for him as a character.
This also kind of confirmed that he is the parallel to Rorschach.
Completely.
I think, had he eaten beans before?
I think he had. Yeah,
right?
he had. In that scene, the first scene where he like lifted the mask, and we were like, why is he keeping that on in his place?
But it was even more prominent. He's watching a very graphic sex scene from
Hooded Justice and Somebody.
What is it? American Crime Story?
It's Captain
American
Metropolis,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, I think it's Captain Metropolis.
Yeah. So, but just the way he's eating them, you're like, it just finally hit home for me. Like, I think that just confirms he is the Rorschach parallel for the story. We'll get to that one in a second. We'll get to the American. What do they call it again? They call it
American Hero Story.
Yeah, the Minutemen. Because there's a bit of a tie there. A reminder: you can look at like outside of the show. HBO has the Pedia thing, the character Petey. They put together really cool files that explain things that aren't insanely integral to the story, but they kind of give you more like an idea of backstories for things. And we'll get to that because there was a thing released on that episode of what Wade Tillman was watching. You see some drills he has with potential extraterrestrial
events,
extra dimensional.
He's got like
events,
a bomb shelter and all that. Sirens going off.
That was the EDS, right? Interdimensional security, right?
Yep. So again, we see that his backstory is deeply rooted in the fact that he survived the squid attack,
and he's severely fucked up.
Traumatized, big time.
Yeah, he's living his day-to-day life traumatized by that. Every single day, it's the only thing he thinks about.
He's in Laurie's office. And he talks about the mask. He's like, I don't want to take the mask off. Doesn't want to take the hat. And she's like, It's like people wake up screaming if they were, a part of the squid attack, right? And she just sees right through him. She's like, I know why you wore the reflective thing now because that's how you
sleep just
that's
fine.
how you sleep well. Yeah, he's like, I sleep well. It's like, well, that's how you sleep well.
Yeah.
So
I'm also ready to say I'm fed up with Lori. Hate her. Absolutely hate her.
I got a little something
the way
on Lori.
the way she every time she deals with a superhero is like, take your fucking mask off. I know what your real name is. I know what your eye color is. Like, shut the fuck up.
I got a little tidbit on Lori.
Yeah, well, you got intel from Petey. Shut up, Lori. I'm out on Lori.
Wonder what Petey thought of how accurate the sex scene in that very graphic porno was.
Yeah, really,
He talks about it. Petey dropped the big thing on HBO's website, and it references a little bit of Lori as well, which I
like
give
this
some
because
hints.
it's like it reminds me of the Cloververse, the way they would set up
Yes,
different websites,
exactly,
MySpace
yes.
pages. I like that.
Another creature
Is
that destroyed
Watchmen a
New York.
Cloverfield movie? Do we know?
Not
I
yet.
wouldn't be opposed. I mean, it's got a giant squid thing.
destroying New York.
I do miss that time period of like 3 months where every movie that J.J. Abrams even smelled, they were like, is that a Cloverfield
No
movie?
idea.
Dude, did you see there's a new one coming out? TJ
Oh, yeah.
Miller posted and he's like, come back to the Cloververse, and people are like, wait a minute, Cloverfield?
Cloverfield Paradox dropping on the Super Bowl. Crazy move.
That was one of the most disappointing
Crazy
days
move.
of my entire life, man.
Such a bummer. And then also with him wrapping up kind of on Wade a bit, because we're going to get to more things that we have some audience questions. We meet his ex-wife.
Yes.
What an asshole. Burns a dog alive. What the fuck?
Does.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
the
know what
big
the fuck
thing,
is up
though.
with
And
that.
they're very, very kind of casual about it. But she works for a cloning company, a company that clones pets. And it seems as though people that work there
Are all cloned,
are
too?
either twins or clones. I'm thinking she doesn't have that many twins working for her. So it looks like they're clones as well. They kind of just skirt over, right? They make it almost like a cute payoff with the dog, and then you go, oh, what the fuck? She vaporized the dog.
And I watched with subtitles too, and like it just goes, she throws it in and then just goes, burns hissing. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like,
That makes it even worse, yeah.
That is definitely going to come back up.
Do you think
For
that...
sure that cloning is coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that is related to the chick we met last week, Lady Trudeau or whatever her name
Lady
is?
True?
Lady True?
Yes.
Trudeau?
Yes.
What's Trudeau?
Lady
Justin
True.
Trudeau?
That's Justin Trudeau.
So much of this is about like DNA and like ancestry. Like, how do we know Will Reeves hasn't been cloned? We don't know any of it really.
We talk about, obviously, Adrian Veidt, Ozymandias, he has those clones. So there's
Yes.
something. We're not going to get into it too much now because that's theorizing beyond the need because we don't have much to go on. But let's push the cloning aside for now. That is for sure
Keep an
something
eye
that
on
we're
that.
going to get.
And
Big time.
also, we owe ourselves a pat on the back because there were a ton of things that
We called
said, keep an
completely
eye on this,
correctly.
keep an eye on that.
yeah.
They all came true this episode.
Yeah, which was pleased. That's my thing. I've seen people say they don't like the show, which is totally understandable. It is a
Yeah, it's
mystery.
not for everybody.
It's very much a mystery, and you have to put the pieces together. And my thing is, I don't think you have to. It's not like, oh, we have to be so smart for this. You don't. You
No, absolutely not.
It's about just like how you think the puzzle pieces fit together, and you're maybe wrong on some things, maybe you're right on some other things. Like we thought Adrian Veidt was on Mars. Definitely not on Mars. Definitely on
I think
Jupiter.
he's on Europa.
So yeah, I saw some of that. Did I miss something? Did they say it, or we just know from
So
like
Jupiter's in the
Jupiter looked
background,
like it?
and they have
Yeah.
a big ice planet called. I think it's Europa. I think it's
Okay.
a big giant ice planet.
I think you're
that
right because
they're
I've
on,
seen
yeah.
people say similar things. Yeah.
So, but again, it's a mystery, and he was revealing a little bit, and then opening up some more questions. This one he revealed a shitload
Yes.
because jumping from Looking Glass into the next character, the other big reveal, which you call from the get-go, is that Senator KEENE. I don't want to say bad guy yet, but he seems to be a
Complicated.
bad
He's
guy.
aligning himself
There's-
with bad guys.
There's more behind it than we know so far.
He
Yeah.
seems to be the kind of the parallel
puppet
to
master almost to these
Ozymandias
guys.
a little bit. Like he seems to be this, like he is like
Yeah.
a puppet master. So that is the big reveal. Wade is out after his meeting. He does like not an AA, but like a private meeting for people who have been
Almost, it reminded me of what do you call it in not Infinity War,
Avengers
yeah.
Endgame. Yeah.
Where did they
Captain
go?
America.
Yeah, that one.
So he leaves his meeting, and he's what we think is a genuine like, oh, come get a drink with me. With I forget her name.
Renee.
Okay. And I'm like, oh, this is a nice casual conversation. She talks about the Steven Spielberg stuff. They talk about the Squid event and how she's affected, he's affected. And then we find out that it was all a setup.
Yeah.
The 7th Cavalry, as we know it now, it doesn't seem to be the 7th Cavalry that we had in mind at the beginning of the episode.
No, not the white supremacy Rorschach.
Although that clearly is
cavalry.
still a part of it
yeah.
in some
Yeah,
sense, but they're being
there
used
is,
as a pawn,
but-
like we called.
Yeah.
So they have like the lettuce or the cabbage fall off the truck, which is a callback to the opening scene of, or one of the opening moments of the first episode.
The cop gets shot, yeah.
They set him up, they tap into his walkie-talkie.
When that happened too, when the lettuce fell off, were you guys like, oh geez, that's a little, I mean.
I actually thought it was.
I was like, that's a little on the nose. Come on.
So
now.
that's what I thought. That's kind of like set me up where I'm like, this is all a setup. Like he's gonna get when he went and grabbed the gun and everything.
It felt like
this is a
Lindelof
setup.
hitting me over the head with like a Harley Quinn hammer. Like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot for not knowing that.
Well,
I bounced up
but
like
see,
an
that's why
accordion.
I didn't realize it at first. I was like, that was my first moment of him. Was like, oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Then I'm like, God damn it! It's never what it seems in this show.
No,
it's like, of course it was a setup. So he gets set up. He goes to this old mall, which. Old malls are the HBO thing because Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones.
They said anyway, it's a different show.
They got the back lot for a discount.
I don't know if you saw right in the beginning, we had a little Sopranos shout out. It's Christopher Moltisanti right in their focus group.
Yeah,
like, come to New York, have some. We the only way we eat our calamari is with some marinara. And I was like, Moltisanti's back. Love this guy.
The Come to New York tie-in from. I will say when they're playing Frank Sinatra in New York, as they zoom out on a squid on New York, it looked incredible. It's
very good.
Sounded amazing too.
And Careless Whisper, which
we'll get to Careless Whisper.
Every rendition of him so good.
The score for this episode was, I think, maybe my favorite part. So he's in the mall. He finds out the 7th Cavalry is there, that the church was a setup. It was staged. There's a lot of mirrors in the mall, by the way. I think it was just some visual stuff. All the pillars were mirrors. There's a big like red eye painted on a wall somewhere. I feel like that might come back to be something. But then you see he's there, and he finds, Wade Tillman does, the 7th Cavalry testing out some portal device. They're testing out, throwing basketballs through it, and it's like dropping out of the ceiling. They tell him, as he confronts them, that we set you up. He gets put back in a back room. It's a guy in a Rorschach mask talking to him, and he goes, I know it's you, Senator Keene. And Senator Keene does the reveal, and he goes, oh, I just do that for them. He reveals that he is there to control the 7th Cavalry so that there remains peace, which that just seems like the biggest bad guy thing to say.
Yeah.
And he also claims that Judd Crawford was in cahoots with him, Judd controlled the police. So he controlled the police, Senator Keene controls the cavalry, and it's part of his master plan, I guess, which we don't know what it is yet.
I still feel like he's a middle manager for somebody else. Like there's a bigger villain in that whole circle of controlling the 7th Cavalry. Right. I think like both him and Judd were being controlled by, or not controlled, but just kind of like puppet mastered a little bit themselves by someone bigger than themselves.
Yeah, so he does reveal the Adrian Veidt thing. He says that he has a plan. He's like, you're going to drop a squid again. And he goes, no, we're going to do something new. Can't do the same thing, which is a kind of a meta reference because Damon Lindelof did note that he didn't just want to readapt the graphic novel. So he's like, that's basically, that just felt very
There's a lot of like meta
wall
stuff in this scene. Do you guys think when he says he has to like, he's trying to keep the peace and he's trying to do all that, it's like sort of a reference to the intro where we saw that whole, the Oklahoma, what did they call it? They called it like a bombing, but it wasn't a bombing. It looked like some kind of like literal war breaking out in the streets.
It's like the race riots of 21?
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
Yeah. So like, is that what he's talking about when he's like, I'm trying to keep the peace? He's just saying, I'm trying to make sure there's no more race riots. There's not a race war breaking out.
So the White Knight, where they killed all the cops and everything, I don't think they weren't in control of the 7th Cavalry at that point. I think that they came in after that to stop that. Because Judd wasn't obviously part of 7th Cavalry before White Knight. So
yeah, I'd agree.
I think
it's after that, but maybe we're wrong on that. I think the fact that I assume that along with you makes me feel like now we're wrong. Maybe he was involved in the White Knight. Like now that I'm thinking about it, now that I say that,
I think Judd was definitely involved in the White Knight.
It's a big question. We have no answer on that, and it looks like we're gonna get some more in the next episode. We'll get to that at the end of the video. But he does the reveal with the Adrian Veidt video. He says, "Look, Wade." Do one thing for me. You got to get Angela Abar off our ass. She's fucking things up.
Yep.
She either killed Judd or she knows who killed Judd, which is very true. At least she thinks she knows who killed Judd. He says that and goes, "Here's this video," and it's this reveal of a very young Jeremy Irons, and by that I mean
seeing him like that. Yeah,
he had a blonde wig on.
The way they did it though, it was like grainy footage,
so you
and
can't
they filmed it from very far away.
They have the wall of TVs.
Yes,
the wall of TVs, which is a
cool visual,
huge throwback. Reference to the graphic novel, and they have the wall of TVs in the movie, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I think he has it on his hideout in like Antarctica.
So he mentions that in this video, which is made for Robert Redford for his inauguration in 1993. It's like, President Redford, like I set this up. Today is November 1st, 1985. It's the day before the Squid. You're going to be president in 1993. He goes out this whole plan of why he set it up, like how he set it up. He avoided nuclear holocaust. He mentions that he is responsible. He's like, I've set up other things for squid rain so people, we can like keep the
fear going.
The fear going, the notion that like,
Yes.
oh, there could be more squids coming. So the squid rain, that's
So
on
we
him.
know that was behind him.
Which I think people kind of predicted that. And we saw in the beginning of the show, like the newspapers and people talked about like, oh, is it a hoax? Like, is it really real, the squid rain? Like, is it the government fucking with us? Apparently it's not any of that. It's Adrian Veidt who did that.
Yeah.
Though I guess Robert Redford would probably know
In a
at this
roundabout
point.
way, yeah, the
President
government
Redford.
fucking with you.
I mean, plans working out great. Everything seems to be very good on Earth in 2019.
Yeah.
So he in the video reveals all that everything was a lie to Wade Tillman. He's fucking stunned, and it's just kind of a moment that shakes him to his core enough where he goes back to the police station and he turns in Angela
With the cactus bug, yeah.
Yeah, with the bug because his desk was bugged, which he learned earlier in the episode, and turns her in. But you can't tell if that's him like complying. Is he
It's
complying
the
with Senator
lesser
Green?
of two evils, where it's like I can either do this and she can be arrested, or not do it, and
Yeah.
her and her whole family get fucking killed by a bunch of racist.
Because the
Okies.
funny thing is,
Yeah.
what did we say the whole time about Wade, about Looking Glass?
We
Is
said that when he finds it out, we think he is the almost moral compass.
which is funny because like I still feel that's mostly true, and I think he thought that about himself, but now he has no idea.
Yeah,
He's in disarray.
his
because
world is all
his whole
fucked
life
up
was a
right now,
fucking
yeah.
lie.
It kind of reminds me of like almost a homage to the Watchmen moment where Veidt kind of reveals to Dr. Manhattan everything that he did as part of his plan and all that with like, hey, look, all the news is reporting Dr. Manhattan, like we have to unite against him, like
Yes.
Soviets and the United States need to come together. It reminds me of that in which like now you have like that moral clarity like by default. Like now you have to do, like here's your path, there's no like, what do you call black or white? Here's your path, like right now. You have to take this one.
Yeah, and it's like I would say it definitely echoes that. It's like a feeling of hopelessness. Like
Yeah.
Looking Glass is just like
Fuck, I have to do it. There's no choice.
literally my entire life is a lie. Like the most traumatic thing that ever happened to me was brought on by this person. I don't know where he goes from here. I mean,
He's
we'll
like
get to the ending of the
collateral
episode, obviously.
damage for like a what do you call it? Just sort of a weird master plot bait.
And again, it's
Yeah.
like Rorschach. Like at the end of Watchmen, when Rorschach gets vaporized, spoilers. He's at that point. He's like, yeah, fucking kill me, do it. Like what else is gonna happen here on Earth?
Yeah, so I think for him, I mean, I think he's still the best of the good guys in the
Yeah.
show, and I think it's him setting up his own plan because I think, despite
hope
the
so.
fact he's questioning what he believes, I still think that when he figures it out, he's right. I mean,
hope
he was
so.
the one that he was. Granted, they did set him up to go there, but even him like figuring out the 7th Cavalry was at that mall. Like, I still believe in Wade here.
Yeah, it does seem like he could be one of those characters though, where it's like once they get out of him what they needed out of him.
Literally, that's kind of what happened.
I mean,
right
they
at the
did.
end. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Set that
literally
up.
killed.
That's what I mean. Like they
The
set it
first
up, and it's
episode.
like, all right, at that point, like I could totally see them opening the next episode and that being done.
Yep. And then finally wrapping up on Veidt, we see that he's on a moon of Jupiter. He gets launched through the simulation.
He's got like a pretty nice spacesuit this
Yeah.
time. He's figured
Yep.
it out.
He begins to pick up all of the frozen dead bodies of his clones that he's been launching through the
Crookshanks and
atmosphere.
what was the
There's a
guy
lot of
one?
them, too.
Yeah, Crookshanks and something, just lining them all up in a sign.
He lines them all up to spell out "Save me" and then the letter D. We don't know. Obviously, that's like they may as well just put like one of those pop-up videos. Or like, this means something. Like, all right, what's the D
You won't
stand for?
believe number 7.
Save me. I don't know if there's someone else. D. Is it Dr. Manhattan? Like, are we? Because here's the thing: he gets pulled back out into the simulation, and the game warden, who
Very cool character, by the way.
no idea who the game warden
So
is.
that was another thing that I think I missed out on something. That definitely is the game warden, or I thought he was speaking on behalf of the game warden.
I think he said he was
is
the
the
game
game
warden.
warden.
Yeah.
He is the game warden. Remember,
Okay.
he's like, I sent you that letter.
Okay, good.
So he's the game warden because my thought process is this: is that like, say, like, Dr. Manhattan put him there, right? He's
Yep.
on Jupiter, whatever. But did he? Because
I'm not convinced that
is it
Dr.
too-
Manhattan did it. at
It's
this point.
almost too
I'm
obvious
convinced that
now.
he's involved. I think Dr. Manhattan
Yes.
knows what's happening with him, but I don't know if he's behind it. I'm still
Did
kind of
President
like
Redford put him there?
Lady True. I'm still.
Oh yeah, what's going on there?
I still feel like she's behind it more than anybody else. But maybe that's another
It ju-
misdirection because she
Save
bought
me,
the thing. She's got
D.
the statue.
It's got to be Dr. Manhattan, right?
I don't think it is only because he specifically set it up so that a satellite could see it. Like Dr. Manhattan doesn't need a satellite to see shit. He's omnipotent. He
That's-
doesn't
yeah.
need that
Good
in order
point.
to figure
Good
it out.
point.
That is specifically so someone on Earth can see
Okay,
that
I like
message.
that. So we're thinking the satellite is a clue that Dr. Manhattan
Dan
did
is,
not
is
put
Dan
him there.
Night Owl?
Dan? Yeah, maybe. Ooh.
Daniel? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know how.
Okay, so
does he know that he's in prison?
I
He probably does, right? Because
he's only been gone there for 4
years.
Yeah,
that's it. Okay, so I think the satellite might be a big clue because he definitely. Dr. Manhattan's just like eating beans, watching his satellite footage. Yeah. Then just a couple quick things. Angela Abar, the nostalgia pills. Those pills are memories, which makes sense.
Those things.
The member berries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
The memories we see from Lady True. She's injecting her daughter beyond memories. There's not much more to say on that now because the entire next episode covers it. So we'll leave that there.
I was going to say the next episode, are we getting like a flashback episode?
Oh, have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you got this preview. Yeah.
I'll explain to you in a second.
Okay, sweet.
Dr. Manhattan, not much there for him. However, Panda. When he's in the police station talking to Red Scare, notes that he believes that Dr. Manhattan might have time travel abilities. Something to think of there. It was very quiet, very quick. That might come back up.
And we've noted that we thought Will Reeves is Hooded Justice, and he also, Panda says in the scene, like, is Hooded Justice actually Dr. Manhattan? I think he is. They're around the same time period.
That was funny, yeah.
So let's get into some other. We'll recap this real quick. So again, Wade Tillman, Looking Glass, was in New York, or excuse me, was in Hoboken for the Squid attack. He now has found out that his world all fucked up. It was all lies. Adrian Veidt set up and made the Squid event happen, and that Senator Keene is now going to enact a plan similar to that, using portals of some sort, and he doesn't want to kill Wade. He just wants Wade to help get Angela out of the picture, because Angela is tied to Will Reeves, and Senator Keene knows that in some way, shape, or form, Angela is involved with Judd's death. So that's kind of the wrap up. That's in very short layman's terms. I would still watch the episode. Don't just base
definitely
base it on what I just
watch
said.
An episode like this is a very good one.
Viewer questions at Sean Collins 10. Are we supposed to know who the game warden is? No, right?
I don't think so.
But he does make one interesting comment. He says, "Your God abandoned you." Mm-hmm. Your God abandoned you.
I feel like that implied Dr. Manhattan.
Did Dr. Manhattan leave him there? And then Lady True took him. So, like, I think that adds a little more on. Like, maybe he was put there by Dr. Manhattan, but now someone else has taken up the mantle of controlling that. Could be possible.
Maybe that's how she even got the company in the first place. Maybe Dr. Manhattan put him there, and then she somehow swooped in and then sold. He sold the company to. I don't know. I don't know.
At Roll Hoagie, what are the chances that Looking Glass survives? Because at the end of the episode, the last thing we see is that the 7th Cavalry very angrily leaves a van and just cocks a shotgun, and that's the last thing they walk into the garage right behind Wade Tillman, who just got home, who actually took his new EDS device,
tossed it,
put it in the trash, and then came back and got it and brought it back out and walked inside of it because he's like, all right, the Squid shit was a hoax.
Let's not get crazy.
I'm still a little worried. I think he's probably going to survive, at least this one.
Yeah, maybe he goes into his bunker or something. I think he's going to survive, at least the opening of this.
With the exception of getting duped by the 7th Cavalry here, or I'm going to say the 7th Cavalry by Senator Keene. He always seems to be a step ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't think they're going to kill him between episodes, but I could see him, that being like the big opening sequence of the next episode is some kind of gunfight that ends in him getting fucking blasted in the head. And it's like, all right, start taking this shit seriously because TikTok, whatever,
At Gus, Wiedekamp 23, what are the 7th Cavalry planning to bring through the portal? Do you have any guesses?
I couldn't think of anything.
It's going to be weird. I think Lindelof is just going to get weird with it. I don't think.
Because people say, are they going to bring Adrian Veidt through the portal? Like, there's obviously some connection there because Senator Keene sees the video, and I don't know if he worships him.
What if they brought back Dr. Manhattan? Some kind of projected, some kind of Spider-Man Far From Home, like giant Dr. Manhattan with this giant blue schlong.
Well, what is Keene telling the 7th Cavalry that he's going to bring? Because it's going to be something that's like appealing to them. I don't know what a bunch of racist Okies would want to come through a portal, but obviously he's misdirecting them.
Big KKK mask,
yeah, it's
guys.
giant.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, Papa John's coming floating through the portal.
I honestly have no guess. Like, we know the asteroid that hits down, or the meteor hits down, where Lady True buys all that farmland. We haven't had that answered yet.
Oh, true. I honestly didn't even think about that.
For once, I have no guess.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just think it's going to be weird. I think it's going to be something that people are going to be like, what? That's what they brought through the portal? But it should be that way because that's what the Squid was in the first place.
Reddit user DJ Snowflake with an interesting one. Now I tease we're going to go to the PDpedia here. He said, why don't the cops have computers? So the world is very different under Robert Redford. Tobacco's outlawed. Notice that the cigarettes are illegal. Renee was smoking them. Yeah. So this is from the FBI. This is in August 29, 2019.
This looks official.
It's pretty cool.
Like for real.
It's called The Computer and You from Director James Doyen of the FBI. They're adding computers to the FBI. And that PDCIT guy. They did not have computers or the proper database. They say, this electronic device has been deemed safe by the Food, Drug, and Technology Administration as defined by the Tech Recall and Reintroduction Act of 1993. The electronic device does not contain Manhattan-made components. So a little Dr. Manhattan reference. And does not emit DIE, die-grade radiation. Surgeon General Oz, is that Dr.
Oz just in the
Dr. Oz, Surgeon General, maintains you will not get cancer by being exposed to this device. You will not damage the hypothetical dimensional membrane by using it. And the final comment here is, new technology seemed the most likely cause for whatever opened the door that allowed such a horrific monster to pass through.
Interesting. They're scaring the public out of looking into this kind of stuff.
That's why he's like a fucking pager. Tech is very old. The internet's not really what it's, which you mentioned before. I think you said to me that no internet.
It's a cool way of getting around things.
It's a cool way of getting around, like why Rorschach's journal, right? That was leaked, but people don't have the best access to it.
Yeah, that guy need to get a bootleg copy of the Adrian Veidt video.
Right? Yeah. So tech has really suppressed things, and so the world is a little different there under Robert Redford. And then lastly, this is from @ZPape. Thoughts on this week's episode score/music,
Very
which
good. I mean,
it was just different versions of "Careless Whisper" by George
Amazing.
Michael.
They're all great.
Yeah. Give me as much Careless Whisper as you could give me.
It's playing. The reason why it's persistent is it's playing in Hoboken when the squid attack happened, so it's in the mind of Wade Tillman the entire time. It was so fucking cool.
The first time it hits slow, though, when the squid actually drops and everything's shattered
like a
and he's
slowed
coming to. It's
record.
almost the Saving Private Ryan when, it's all hazy and the guy sees the guy fucking walking around with his arm. Like, when that hits slow, it was so dope. It reminded me of back in the day, this is a wrestling reference for the episode, when people would turn heel, they would just get a slowed down version of their own theme. And it's like the only thing you need to make that evil. Make Careless Whisper evil, slow it down.
Predictions for episode 6. So the episode 6 tease is Angela Abar eats. I don't think she eats them. She ingests a shitload of pills.
Okay.
And she's in jail, and Lori Blake says, you can't take other people's nostalgia. So it's clearly Will Reeves' nostalgia, her grandfather. And so it looks like the entire next episode is in black and white and is a flashback of her seeing these memories. And while she's going through these memories, back when Will Reeves was younger, we see him as a kid, we see him as a teenager, as kind of an adult. You see people in her current life breaking through to the memories, but as other characters. It's a really fucking. It's going to be
Psychosis,
a
man.
wild episode. Yeah.
They warned.
And
Maybe the boys drop some acid before the episode next week.
We see Will Reeves removing a hood by a tree. I don't know if that's a Hood of Justice reference. I'm not sure.
I haven't seen the
Someone
preview
noted,
at all. I got to watch this.
This is @heathen_king said that the Watchmen Reddit noted that Hood of Justice's original name was Brother Knight. Angela Abar's vigilante name is Sister Knight.
But
Sister Knight.
Watchmen fucks me up so much because I see that and I'm like, traditionally, I'm like, there it is, mystery solved.
Yeah.
But I'm
Maybe
like,
not.
no, it's too obvious now. It definitely
only
can't be.
crazier,
I don't
yeah.
know. Watchmen really fucks me up with this stuff. If it's in The Mandalorian, I'm like, they're related.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's
Baby yo, baby.
So it's going to be very in and out, trippy, like you said, psychosis, her looking through memories.
That sounds cool.
We see Judd at one point. I think we're going to get an answer on Judd. I think we're going to get an answer on if Will Reeves is Hood of Justice. That's just my guess for now, because I think they're kind of teasing to it slowly. I think also, like, Will Reeves and Lady True, what's the relation to Keene and the Cavalry? Like, are they the good people? Are Lady True and Will Reeves good? Or is it a fake out? Is really Senator Keene and Judd the heroes? Like, because Lady True I don't want to believe is good, but I want to believe Will Reeves is good because he seems like he's doing this for the betterment of humanity. It's tough.
But he's kind of crazy.
Or are both not good. Are both bad. That very well could be the case.
I think that could also be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if they were both bad.
The way Will was so just kind of like sad that Angela was going to hate him after everything he did makes me think whatever he's doing is for the greater good.
And Keene, I think, we know he wants to be president. Like, is the next step in his process to become president? Because we know his father, I believe.
I think it is.
Did the Keene Act, which took vigilantes off the street. So he's been involved, his family, with politics for years and years. I think
Plus, the original attack was, setting up for Redford as well. I think he's doing an attack to set up for himself.
And do you think, I had someone else that said this, do you think President Redford, was pissed off when Veidt revealed that he made the attack, and that's why is he responsible for sending him? Senator Keene working with the president? Yeah.
Talk about imposter syndrome. Like, I don't deserve this. Like, literally, like, you were set up for this 7 years ago, bro.
And then finally, another a fun fact. Will Agent Blake become Silk Spectre 2 again? She has a lot of animosity to people in mass. Let me read this. This is from This is so the technology thing about computers was released for the first episode. This was released yesterday. It was Petey's review of American Hero Story and like the accuracies and how we know he doesn't like it, but he notes in here
of like just the show in general or last night's episode.
Show,
Okay.
About how like the sexual assault of Silk Spectre and the comedian and all that. He notes Silk Spectre never wore a mask, but the comedian did. And that comedian spelled in the feminine way. The second act of her vigilante career concluded 1 year after the death of her mother, Silk Spectre, when she was captured by the FBI in Oklahoma City. So she has an Oklahoma tie, and offered a plea deal that required her to become a special agent of the Anti-Vigilante Task Force. So she didn't willingly stop being Silk Spectre or to be the comedian who she was masked at one point. She did not willingly give up her mask. She was forced to do it through a plea deal. That leads me to believe, and now that wasn't in the episode, so it's not like a big tease.
She's just got FOMO about it.
But a lot of these little things, they do come up at some point. It gets kind of the head moving a bit. Again, I can't hammer it home enough. PDpedia, very cool. If you're into the show, sift through some materials. They also have the pamphlet that was at the meeting about the
11-2.
Yeah, that pamphlet, and then it has a flyer, like an advertisement for nostalgia pills. So it's got some cool little artifacts there. So I don't know. That was
So you think maybe it's jealousy coming through out of Lori?
Yeah, I think a little bit of jealousy.
She's like, you guys are vigilantes. I got
what
that
the fuck?
stripped from me.
And you guys are allowed to be vigilantes? Like, this is fun.
I think it'd be cooler to see her, now that you're mentioning that, in like some kind of fucking comedian garb than it would be to see her in the Silk Spectre garb.
So
full flamethrower.
A lot of questions. This was a
Like,
long
give me the
one.
shoulder pads with
Big
the
ass
fucking
fucking-
Patriot shit on it. Yeah.
You walked in this morning, and I was like, this is way too much shit to go on. This is the longest rundown we've had. I hope that cleared up any questions. Let us know below, too, any questions you have about Episode 5. Give us some predictions.
Definitely.
Because, again, I think anything goes at this point. Anything could be right. We've been right. We've been wrong on things. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, and then hit the bell icon so you know when our next episode comes out. Friday, November, what is it, the November 21st? What's Friday?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. Episode 3 of The Mandalorian we're going to talk about. Very excited to talk about that. Hashtag Baby Yo.
Baby Yo.
That's our guy, Baby Yo. For Robbie, KenJac, thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you next time.